Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Welcome to the Chunk of Papa channel. Today is 27th of March 2020, day 1 of the total lockdown in South Africa. Yeah, we are under house arrest. I pleaded not guilty, but nobody wanted to listen. It's probably for the better. We are not allowed to purchase any alcohol or transport alcohol, and also sales of cigarettes are banned. The government decided to put us on a cold turkey, which is probably counterproductive. But anyway, this is South Africa. I tried to solicit some help with filming this. The whole video is about the chicken soup, but I'm having my rant at the moment. My wife, my daughter and her boyfriend, who are staying across the road at the moment, both told me, we are busy, we are working. Well, thanks for the technology that they can do it, but, you know, I could do with a little bit of help. So I will be flying solo, no help from whoever. Let's go to the kitchen and start cooking. Chunk of Papa. As long as I remember, the chicken soup was used in my family as a remedy for cold, flu, and on any other things. It's also known as a Jewish penicillin. It must be for a reason. My main ingredients are, let me turn it around, 16 pieces of chicken, 750 grams of carrots, table celery. Actually, it should be celery root, but it's not easily available in South Africa. An onion. What's missing is a parsnip root. I don't have it either. For this quantity of ingredients, I use my biggest pot, which is a pasta pot, which is approximately 7 to 8 liters capacity. So first thing I do, I will put chicken into the pot. Carrots peeled. They're quite chunky, so I'll cut them in half, or maybe some bigger ones into 3 pieces, before I add them to the soup. From the table celery, I don't use everything. I just use the bottom part and the green. The rest will go into another soup, which will be a Provençal fish soup, which I will make at some stage when I get the ingredients. This is difficult, filming, because when I have to use both hands. Mats, how do you do that? Celery needs to be washed, because there's always a residue sand around it. I will just rinse it. You don't want the sand in your soup. The chicken is slowly coming to the boil. So what I do now, I scoop the scum from the top. Apparently it's not a good idea because it's protein, but I won't argue with my grandmother and my mother's recipe. It's still forming the scum, I mean, but yeah, you've got to scoop it until it stops before you add anything else to the soup. Last scoop. It looks fairly clear to me. Most of it is gone. Why I do it is because I want a clear soup. I don't want any of that to actually murky it. It should be like the color of a beer. Now I'll add a moderate amount of salt. That's my dose. Thank you for my wife to filming it.
In her lunch break.
In her lunch break, because she's working. Now I'll add all the veggies. Before I add celery, I'll have to scoop some of the broth, because it's too much and the pot will overflow. I hope you noticed that I didn't peel the onion. Actually, it gives it a very nice color when it's got this dry leaves outside. Now I get the broth out and keep it in a container for later use. I made a space for celery to be added, but before that, a couple of secret ingredients. One of them is pimento, also known as an allspice. I use 5 of those for the quantity like that. 5 pimentos, and you had a good look at our spice rack. We are both very avid cooks, so we quite use a lot of that. And there is also another spice rack. I place pimentos strategically, scatter them. And now it's time to add celery. Celery into the pot. Done. But cut it short. Now there's another little thing I normally use, even my gran and my mom used it, which is the chicken stock. I've got a very good Polish product, which is actually Rosół skóry, which translates broth from a hen. But you will find it in any country, I'm sure. Local product, name brands of international stuff are Knorr, Knorox, and so forth. All is in. Time to close the lid and turn it down to 2. My setting on a induction oven, stove, sorry, is 1 to 9, so I'll put it on 2 and let it simmer for approximately 45 to 50 minutes. Where is the time? You cannot see the clock. Half-time check after 25 minutes. What's going on? It's simmering nicely. When I was still at varsity, one of the profs, I think it was metallurgy, told us that that's how you make steel. Let it simmer. Don't rush it. While I was in the kitchen checking on my chicken soup, look what I found on the counter. It's my dear wife. Meds. Don't drink it. It's toxic. Use rather Polish vodka to fight coronavirus. But, bloody hell, this prohibition thing is crazy. I wish you guys could smell the aroma. It's fantastic. I hope this technology will be coming soon. Time is up. What I do now is prepare. I've got containers ready. There are yogurt containers which I serve for that purpose, 1 liter. So I pack pieces of chicken, 1 thigh and 1 drumstick into a container, plus 2 pieces of carrot. Because there are 16 pieces, so I've got 7 containers here, so I'll have something for my late lunch today. Left over from packing it up. Yeah, preparing it for freezing. Remember that I decanted some of the broth because it was too much in the pot at the time after I boiled the chicken, so I'll add it now. I filled my containers with 2 pieces of chicken, some carrots, some celery. Now, this is a concentrated broth, so I will have to use some water to increase the quantity of it. It's really concentrated. I added approximately 2 liters of water into the broth. I will do a tasting just now. The tasting is mostly to just find out if there is sufficient amount of salt, if the flavor is alright, if I can improve on it. So I'll take a small quantity, get it into the mug, cool it down and find out what it's like. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And here is the final product. It looks lovely. It tastes delicious. I also put some noodles in there. As you can see, they are rice noodles, not from rice flour. They are pasta. I think Italians call them grisi. Enjoy it. Try it. My containers are ready for, once they cool off, for freezing, to use the soup on some other occasion. So it's a wrap. I will just close that video just now. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I intend to make some more whenever I cook different soups. I'll try to make a video at the same time. Well, we're living in very interesting times, and as humans, we will overcome that scourge. As my favorite American writer said, Kurt Vonnegut Jr., humanity tried to commit suicide twice, and he was referring to 2 world wars. But the worst was the Spanish flu of 1918-1919, which killed almost 5% of the world population. I hope nothing like that will happen now. Thanks to Mats, Slice of Matt, for editing, and please subscribe to Chunk of Papa. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and life is beautiful and worth fighting for.